So my husband wants to take a trip with people that it's a relationship that I'm not really comfortable with.
I'm not comfortable with it because
it's a little unconventional for what I believe a relationship should look like. I know that's not very leading edge.
It's not even in the ballpark. But it's all right. You get to want what you want, and you get to feel how you feel, and you get to have what you want, and we don't get to tell you. Nobody gets to tell you. And it's right that you want what you want. But every minute you spend justifying why you want what you want, you hold yourself apart from your inner being, who is not asking you to justify. Your inner being is not pushing against anything. And when you do, then you let go of so much of your leverage and advantage. So the scenario you've stated clearly, someone that I love wants me to do something that I don't want to do. So therefore, I feel. What are some of the emotions that you feel? I feel on the spot. I feel taken advantage of. I feel pressured. I feel stress. I feel frustration. I feel, there's another emotion. What is it? I feel
abandoned.
Misunderstood, abandoned, betrayed. That's it. I feel betrayed. I feel like he's putting something else first. Yikes. So
tell him off.
Oh, we're telling you off. Tell anyone off. But when we said yikes, we just had a conversation about you putting your inner being first. And here you are, sort of in this shortage consciousness attitude of who's first. I feel abandoned because you want to do something that I don't want to do. You're looking for love in all the wrong places. You're looking for stability in all the wrong places. You get your stability from your inner being, not from wherever it is he wants to go. And we think it's a good idea not to go until you're all shored up. So that's why we want to calibrate with you a little bit here. You have the picture. You know what the situation is, and we know how you feel, and it's not wrong that you feel that way. I want to be very clear with you about that. You're not wrong to feel that way, but it isn't good for you to not feel good, and we want you to feel good. We want you to find a way of feeling good, and we want you to find a way of feeling good without feeling like you have to cave in and do something that somebody else wants you to do that you don't want to do, or asking them to cave in. It's so interesting. So many people want somebody else to sacrifice what they want in order for you to have what you want. So sacrifice is in the air when what's happening is everybody's sacrificing their connection to source and blaming each other. The only thing that you don't want to sacrifice is your relationship with source. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to have human relationships, because that's sort of the name of the physical game of relationships. How much are you willing to sacrifice for me? Isn't it kind of the way humans roll? Oh, you do all the things I want you to do. You must really love me, and therefore I'm happy here. And we say, enjoy it, because it's going to be a short time. Because that's not the basis of a lasting relationship. So we've got that side of the page pretty well established, and we spent too much time pinpointing it. But because we're really sure that we can calibrate otherwise, we pinpointed it longer than is necessary, because almost everybody in the room has a similar relationship. In other words, this is a good conversation. Do you agree? So now, let's get on the other page. Let's get on the source energy side of this. Let's get on the inner being side of this. Let's get on the what we really want to calibrate to all the time side of that. We want to calibrate not only to our inner being, but we want to calibrate to who we have become in this relationship that our inner being is, that in this moment we are not. In other words, you're making a decision of calibrating to what you want rather than to what you don't want. You're making a decision to calibrate to the solution rather than to the problem. You're making the decision to calibrate to your first priority rather than your second priority. Now, we know this is tough love that we're giving you, but you can't have a good relationship with any of your human friends if you don't have an intact relationship with your source energy. You just can't have it. You just can't have it. It's like having nothing to give and hanging around to each other in emptiness, trying to fill the void with each other and not able to do it. Again, pinpointing too much. So now we're on the other side of the page. And so you make the statement, however, this situation caused me to calibrate to betrayal. That was the most poignant emotion that came out of it. Betrayal. Now I'm going to focus here with my inner being. I've cleared my mind a little bit, and in this space you can do this. And I ask myself the question, am I betrayed on a regular basis, or am I honored? Which is it?
Honored, for sure.
For sure. Unequivocally. In other words, you didn't even have to think about that. Once you got this subject not pinpointed.
Out of focus.
Once you got this subject out of focus, you know. Am I honored or betrayed? Am I taken advantage of, or am I blessed? Am I blessed or am I disadvantaged? Which is it?
Blessed.
I'm so blessed. Am I worried about things, or am I exhilarated and eager about the unfolding of my life experience?
Usually exhilarated and eager.
All right, so now the usually indicates that you were looking back over there for a bit and you're wanting to speak the truth. Usually I'm here, but because of the stupid stuff he's doing, I'm not there right now.
But your question was just, am I?
We want you to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
And connect to, not that cheek, and acknowledge who you really are and what you really know, and take the time to tune to that, to find the resonance with that, to fill up with that, to fill up with all of that. Because when you fill up with that knowing of how blessed you are, then all that petty, and we are not pointing that at you, we're pointing it at anyone who's disconnected from the fullness and the power of the energy that creates worlds. This is a leverage that is indescribable. And so many people are shortage consciousness focused for a good reason. They have been pinching themselves off from the abundance and resources, and all they know is some sort of shortage. But if on a regular basis, as things like this come up, and you calibrate to who you really are, again and again and again and again and again, it doesn't take too much of that before you're so steadily calibrated there that those things don't even raise a little blip on your radar at all, because you know who you are. You're steady who you are. And it's too soon, perhaps, to predict an outcome or a resolution between the two of you, because it could go either way. The whole event could feel unimportant to each of you, or you could become so solid in who you are that you could realize that you could go anywhere and be in any environment, and under any conditions, you can stand in alignment with who you are.
Well, that's exactly what I want. That's good. So we call it beneficial because at the beginning of the conversation you said you see it only as of benefit.
You call it beneficial because it really is.
Because it prods me toward who I really am.
It's not lip service, and it's not faking it till you make it. It is putting it in perspective. It's all about relativity. It's putting it in perspective. Let's get a grip. Let's put it into perspective. How are things really? Turn on the television a little bit and you can get a whole different point of view. And a whole lot of people are focusing there and clamoring and beating a drum that seems real and can suck you in. But if you're wise enough at the first suck to feel it and flinch at it and acknowledge that you don't want it, stop it over there. And turn your attention to who you really are and what you really want, and reboot and resource and replenish and revive and find stability. Now, there is nothing more delicious in all of the world than to be free to roam in a world that is, by everybody's standards, not safe, but by your point of attraction, perfect. In other words, you are never going to be free unless you are free of resistance. Because there's always going to be something to worry about, even if it is something that your lover is saying or doing or wanting. isn't there just always going to be a reason not to feel good? And isn't every reason not to feel good stupid? When you look at it in that way, in other words, is anything big enough or bad enough to be the reason that you pinch off from all solutions and all resolutions and all? Nice to know. That's what we meant earlier when we said it can be the C word, or you can insert relationship or anything else. Good enough?
Good. Thank you.